Sorry, guys. I dropped my latte on the mixer board and completely blew up the system. We're going to continue on, and we're going to go to this Ottawa-Washington game. Ottawa minus 115, Washington minus 105. 5.5 is the total here. Andrew, this is one of the ones where when we talk about goalies, it's a goalie-dependent one for me. Obviously, Allmark is their number one guy, but he's injured. Of the two number two goalies, or number two, number three, if you want to talk about it, I don't want any part of like Forsberg in goal. It just seems like anytime I'm on the Sens and Forsberg's in goal, it turns out badly for me. But this is a team that came from the West Coast, played a couple games back here against Detroit, and then home against the Sabres. They lose 4-0. They lose both those games, but they've turned it around, and they're playing extremely well. This is a team now that's won, 3 in a row, knocking off Pittsburgh, knocking off the Dallas Stars, which is a big one, and then shutting out the Islanders in New York, allowing 2 goals across 3 games, couple shutouts there as well, too. I want Ottawa here, minus 115. I get it. Washington's a good team, guys. No disrespect to them, but when you have a team like Ottawa that's been playing well and playing well defensively, they go through a bad spurt, but then get back to playing defense at home and playing extremely well right now. I'm going to jump on them to try and slow down this Washington team and cash at a very low buy low price of minus 115. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm sharing a lot of the same thoughts as you, Carm. Merilainen is confirmed for the Ottawa Senators. And as you mentioned, we've talked about it a couple different times now, how different this Senators team looked when Allmark went out of the picture. When he got injured, it really affected this team. It took him some time to get going. And once he got going, he was looking really good with this Senators team. But Merilainen now, 1.99 goals against average, 9.25 save percentage. You know, this team looks different when they have a confident goaltender behind them. It's almost like they feel more pressure when they realize, man, we're not going to win a game unless we score 4 or 5 goals. You know, this Senators team is a completely different team when they can win games scoring a few goals and not 4 or 5. And as you guys know, there's certain teams on my list that are particular team total teams. And a couple of days ago, I did cash with the Sens team total, but they're kind of proving me now to be a team that I don't necessarily have to take the team total in order to feel comfortable with them and cashing tickets. And I'm very curious what Brian's thoughts are on this, because Brian looks at a lot of the numbers and he's made a lot of money with the Capitals this season. But, Brian, one thing I've noticed here is that although the Capitals have been up high as far as expected goals for throughout the season, whenever I check and plug in different dates on certain websites, whether it be the start of January, the start of December, the last 2 weeks, the last week and a half, whatever it might be, the Capitals seem to always be a bottom team as far as expected goals allowed. So I'll throw it to you with this, Brian. Has this Capitals team been relying on goaltending for far too long? I was actually doing a show the other day, and I was asked, which team out of these 3 teams relies the most on goaltending? The Capitals, the Kings, or the Wild? And I'm very curious your thoughts maybe on that, but as well as here, the expected goals against. They're giving up the 3rd most expected goals in the month of January. That leads me to the Ottawa side, Brian, but what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm in agreement here. The break got my cat out of bed, but I have to apologize for that. But yeah, don't look now, but these Senators are on quite a roll. They've raised their expected goals 5-on-5 to 52.23 on the season, which is really right behind the Capitals at 52.38. And we've talked about the Washington Capitals all season long. So Ottawa's, they're playing much better ball right now. Washington does have a 42 net goal advantage on the season, but this Ottawa team is playing far better hockey than earlier in the campaign. And you mentioned the goalies. It makes a big difference when you can stop the goalies. You talked about Colorado in the past, and Colorado's a totally different team now that they've got a quality goalie in there. So if Ottawa can get this type of goaltending, this is a team that can make the playoffs. The Capitals have played 5 more home games than the Senators. In the last week, Washington has really stepped up its defense, allowing just 5 goals in 4 games. This is the first meeting of the season between these two, but Ottawa has been very streaky. to start the new year in 2025. They lost 4 straight before winning 3 straight coming into this one. But they did permit just 2 total goals in those 3 games. So you got 2 teams playing very good defense right now. I like the Ottawa side, but I think the way I'm going to get there is, since I like the under a little bit and I like the Senators a little bit, I'm going to play the Washington team total under 2.5 in this one at plus money. They have not been scoring a lot of goals lately. I like the way Ottawa's playing defense. And, we get a nice payback here. Washington scores 3 goals, we lose. But anything other than 3, lower than that, we got a nice payoff here with Ottawa. And that's the way I'm looking at this one. Goaltending just means so much to some of these teams. And if Ottawa can get the goaltending, they're a competitive team.
You know what, Brian, I agree with you. I think this year more than any other year, I think it's just because in the Eastern Conference, there are so many teams that are at least now halfway through the season or just a little over halfway through the season vying for playoff spots. It is such a tight East that there's teams that can squeak into those 7th and 8th spots. That goaltending is going to be a premium. And we're going to see a lot of, I think, trade deadline moves where teams that are no longer in the playoffs and have a number one who isn't the true number one but can help a team make a playoff run are going to get traded. So those teams are going to accumulate some assets in moving a goalie and picking up draft picks, I think. But with that said, Andrew, for everyone who waited around patiently while we got this thing fixed, give us a couple winners on Andrew's prop playlist.
All right, Carm, I am going to give 2 player props, 1 assist prop and 1 shots on goal prop. And guys, I understand this is an NHL show, but I just want to invite you to join me on my 5% NFL play this weekend. I haven't had that many throughout the season whatsoever. This is a spot that I really like this weekend, and it's a player prop. So guys, be forewarned, if you don't like props, stay away from this one. But if you do like props, you had a chance to get it for $5. Now back to regular price here. 5-0 with props last weekend in the NFL. 70% NFL win rate since early November, and an 8-3 NFL prop run. So join me, guys, over at WagerTalk. You guys know how these prop numbers move. So you want to get the best number you possibly can on this player that I think will have a really, really good weekend in the NFL. So make sure you guys check that out or join me for a 7-day pass, get all of my plays. All right, we just spoke about the Ottawa Senators on PuckTime here, talking about the game that they have today. And I think that Tim Stützle right now is probably proving to be the most well-rounded he's ever been. I'm going to take a look at him to record an assist at plus 130. When you take a look at Tim Stützle, when he first entered the league, he used to be a shooter. He used to be the power play guy. They'd be waiting for the puck to go to him, and he would shoot it. Now he's attracting so many players towards him that he's become a lot more of a distributor, moving the puck around, finding his teammates. He's played with several different guys, including Brady Tkachuk, including Josh Norris, including Shane Pinto. He has been moved around the lineup, but he is one of the most heavy minutes guys on the team. And we're getting a plus price. And that's all we want to do is get that best price we possibly can, plus 130 for Timmy Stützle to record an assist. Great price on that one. All right. I've been really, really picking my spots with these over 3.5 shots on goal numbers because, as Andy Lang will tell us, the 1.5s are a little bit easier to hit on a consistent and nightly basis. But I got to rock with Nathan MacKinnon over 3.5 shots on goal here tonight from the Avalanche. This guy is potentially going to win the Art Ross and the Hart. He is in line for both those awards at this moment right now, playing extremely well for the Avalanche. But this is a really good situation, guys, because they're getting the Oilers on the second half of back-to-back. Big win over the Minnesota Wild, putting up 5 goals on them. And I know the fatigue factor isn't always there for some good teams, and they could have depth, but I still believe that if MacKinnon is well-rested and they catch this Oilers team flat-footed, he should get at least 4 shots. And because this offense has been so spread out, guys, the price of minus 125 is better than we've seen it. We've seen this get as high as minus 140 for MacKinnon to get to 4 shots on goal. So just 2 player props, Stützle assist, MacKinnon over on shots, let's have ourselves a night, and don't forget about that 5% NFL play. Back to you, Carm.
Andrew, good luck with that play on the weekend. I like the Stutzla play. It's one of my favorite desserts. Stutzla, a nice warm apple Stutzla with a Bailey's coffee is fantastic. Bri, we're going to close it out with the Edmonton Oilers and Colorado Avalanche. I'm going to make mine quick. This total's at 6.5 under, shaded under 20 cents the under. These teams have only played once this season. 4-1 Edmonton in Colorado. 4 of the last 5 have gone under the total, and that's where I'm leaning here. Normally, you see two teams like this with two offenses like this, and you think these teams must have good over numbers. Not so much. Edmonton Oilers 19, 22, and 1 this season to the over, minus 7.3 units. If you just flat bet the Oilers overs every single game, you're losing money. Similar with Colorado, 23, 21, and 1. Negligible, but still down units, just about a unit on the whole season. These are definitely not over teams that we would normally associate, given those power plays, given the stars on the team. Under 6.5 for me. Where are you going with this one?
Yeah, for myself, this is Edmonton's 8th game in the new year, all played in different cities. It's also the second game of a back-to-back after outlasting Minnesota yesterday 5-3. They won in this building 4-1 in the only previous meeting on the season. They're 4-2 in the second game of a back-to-back, including that previous win in Colorado. That was in the second game of a back-to-back, which is very impressive with the altitude in Colorado. In January, the Avalanche have yet to have any streaks, winning then losing each of the last 7 games played. There are one of those kind of things going on. They're off a 3-2 overtime win over the recently rejuvenated New York Rangers. Second game of 5 straight played in Denver. A slight lean here with Edmonton, but because of that home loss revenge for Colorado, I will be sitting this one out. So not enough to make my card on this one, but it should be a fun game to watch.
All right, Andrew, 7 wins in their last 8 games. The one game goaltending was not there for them on the road. They lose 5-3 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Your Sidney Crosby, Pittsburgh Penguins. What are your thoughts on this one?
My thoughts are, I start to wonder, Carm, how many times we're going to see Mackenzie Blackwood in net for the Avalanche, and what's the deal with that, how they're going to manage his workload, because I haven't seen a confirmed goaltender, but everyone's getting excited. Everybody's confident now about the goaltending situation. You guys have heard me hyping it up, but I'm curious, how many starts are we going to see the backups start to get? And I think Wedgwood is healthy again, so maybe we'll see if he's out there again, and what we're kind of going to see here. But this is one of those scenarios here, guys. If you're the Edmonton Oilers, you're looking at the schedule makers when you're seeing the schedule in the summer, and you're saying, "Are you serious? What the hell is this? You're going to give me the Wild and the Avalanche. At least give me a bad team, then a good team. Don't give me 2 really good teams on a back-to-back like this." And something I said earlier in the show was about, taking a look at a team when they lose the first game of back-to-back. Sure, that motivation's still there for the second half of back-to-back, but you put up 5 goals the first part of a back-to-back. McDavid had an assist, a goal, and some people were saying it was a variation of a Gordie Howe hat trick because he elbowed somebody in the head. So he had an assist and a goal and an elbowed someone to the head. So quite the game there for McDavid. But overall, I think this is a good spot for the Avalanche. But this is one of those ones where I actually want to just more so go against the Oilers. And I think that the Avalanche, not just their goaltending guys, they have bought in to defensive hockey. So Brian talked about a team total under earlier in the show, and I feel like that's the way to go here in this one. And you guys will like this price here, plus 140 Oilers team total under 2.5. If the Avalanche want to utilize this good bet on spot, and as far as the rest is concerned, hopefully it's in a defensive manner. So good teams can score, but great teams can prevent their other team from scoring and creating all kinds of chances, especially second half of a back-to-back. So team total under 2.5 for the Oilers, Carm, I love that plus price on the 140. So that's what I'm going to rock with here. And any thoughts there on the workload situation, Carm, with Blackwood? He's obviously playing great. How much are they going to play him moving forward?
He is. It's a good split for them. It just depends on how this team's doing in the standings. I think a lot of these teams, like the Floridas, the Edmontons, the Colorados, the Vegas Golden Knights, know that get into the playoffs, get into at worst the number 2 seed in your division, because they can win on the road. And they're a very good team. So no need to start a goalie 60 times, and they're not going to do that with him. Anyways, but we'll see how they monitor them over or how they use them over the next. We'll monitor it over the next 30 or 40 games. But we need to get to our best bet segment. Brian, I'm going to go to you first. Let us know what you have up at WagerTalk. And you got a big 5% play up tonight in the NBA. So tell us about it and give us a show best bet.
Yeah, the last couple of nights I've liked some games at 4% winner, 5% winner. Yesterday we had the Kansas game under, won that by double digits in college basketball. Got a 5% up in the NBA right now, and I also have a 4% up in hockey, a puck line play. Instead of buying just the 5% for $35, get the entire day for $39, and we even have better specials than that. So, real big day for us. A lot of strong plays going on today's card. One play I'm looking at, I'm going off the board for my best bet on today's show. Take a look at this Calgary-St. Louis game. 5-on-5 expected goal share. We find Calgary at 49.42, St. Louis at 49.22. Blues have a net goal advantage on the season of +4, with Calgary playing 2 more home games. So these are 2 teams that I rate very closely. This is the second game of a back-to-back between these two, as the Blues won in this building on Tuesday, 2-1. That was the second game of a back-to-back situation itself for the Flames after knocking off Chicago in the Windy City. I believe it was 5-2 in that game. St. Louis has now won both meetings this year between these two, but both of them have been by a single goal with one in overtime. You can't get much closer than that. Our numbers show these teams to be virtually equal, with Calgary playing its third game in 4 days. That's the only concern we have in this one. But that's not enough for us to fade the visitor here in a quick bounce-back situation. We'll gladly take the underdog price here with the Flames in a game that we feel is a coin flip, and we're getting it at +120. I'll take that with Calgary. That's what we're looking for to on the season, to make that little bit of profit each and every day with these great lines, and that's how you end up the season in positive territory in betting hockey. So we like Calgary in this one.
All right, Brian, I wish you the best of luck as well tonight with that NBA play. I'm gonna go to a game off the board that we didn't discuss, one of the 3 games that we didn't discuss, and I'm gonna take the New Jersey Devils. I get it; they're in Toronto, facing the Leafs, but the Leafs on a 3-game losing streak, and the last 2 at home. This is a team that got out to a 2-0 lead, and I talked about that game. They got out to a 2-0 lead in Carolina, and since that 2-0 lead, they've been outscored 13-2. Since getting out to that 2-0 lead. John Tavares left practice early yesterday with an injury, so he's I haven't seen any news on him. I haven't looked for any news, but he may not be in the lineup for tonight as well too. So maybe some shuffling of that second line for the Leafs, but the Devils play very good defensively. Going to be tough for the Leafs to break them down. Vancouver played them tough, shut them out. Dallas Stars played them tough. Get away with a 4-1 win. Devils, I put them in the same sort of defensive boat as those other 2 teams. They can play when they come, they play well. And Sheldon Keefe back with the Devils in Toronto, so we'll see what kind of a welcoming he gets. Give me the Devils -130. 2 plays up this afternoon in Premier League. 3-0 sweep yesterday in the Premier League. My NHL card, I was waiting on goalie confirmations. It'll all be up within the next 15 to 20 minutes. You can get that over at WagerTalk and pick up a 1-day all access. Andrew, I'll send it to you to close it out. And you got a big 5% play going this weekend in the NFL. I wish you the best of luck in that as well, too.
Carmine, I appreciate it, man. Let's have a great night. Good luck on the soccer plays and the NHL. And good luck to Brian with the big NBA play. I'll be sure to get that off him and hopefully cash that ticket tonight. But again, guys, 5% NFL player props. So hopefully you're interested in player props, guys. Love this number. I think it's a really good price on a really good player. So join me, of course, on that. It's been a really good run in the NFL. But we're going to go with my best bet. It's going to be Florida Panthers versus Detroit. team total over 3.5, -120 here. I'm not buying what Detroit is selling to me, that they are a changed franchise. I know Johnny Detroit is not happy overall, and he wants to keep the season tickets, but if they let him down, he's not going to keep them. But I'm telling you, this is a team that's proven they can beat teams below them in the standings. But how about the best of the best? How about the defending Stanley Cup champions? It's a big game tonight for the Red Wings, and I don't think they live up to it, the hype here. I'll take Florida team total over 3.5, and that will do it for Puck Time here today, guys. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but we appreciate you all hanging out with us here and talking hockey in the live chat and the comment section after as well. Hit the like button, smash that subscribe button as well. Help us grow this community. Thanks to all of you guys for being here. We'll see you tomorrow right here.